Guys, what's up? Mano here. Welcome back to the channel. I have a very special motorcycle over here. A friend at Royal Enfield Cebu asked me to come over, take this out for a spin, and this is the bike that we have here. It is the Interceptor 650, and I have been dying to test ride one of these. Anyway, here goes. Alright, so this is the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. Probably the most important model that they have released in recent years, in my opinion. Why, you may ask? Because it has proven to the motorcycle community that you can stick to your heritage with a modern spin on it while making a product that performs well, looks good, and priced reasonably without sacrificing quality. And my very short test ride has proven to me that this bike really lives up to its reputation, and I will tell you my honest first impressions. So I'm not going to talk about specs because you can find that in Google, and words and numbers on a screen do not speak for how a motorcycle feels like in the metal. Okay, let's begin with what we see and feel. The bike itself is really beautiful in person. No kidding. In fact, it is how a motorcycle looks like in your head when you hear the words classic British motorcycle. The Interceptor feels really good to the touch too. Everything from the handlebar, the dual gauges, the steel tank and fenders, down to the center stand feels really solid and well made. Yes, you get a center stand. That is something that you don't get nowadays. And that combination of polished and raw metal surfaces on the engine makes it stand out and balances the general look of the bike. It's the kind of bike that makes you want to stare at it while sipping whiskey or smoking a cigarette. It's got this feel to it that you can't get on a modern Japanese motorcycle or a plastic-covered ADV. Now, riding the Interceptor is something else. The moment you get on the bike, you can feel the height of the seat. A bit surprising considering it looks low from afar. For reference, this is me at 6'1", 95 kilos with a 32-inch inseam, and I can flat foot both feet with my knees slightly bent. Reach to the bars is very neutral, not too low, not too high, and puts me in an upright, slightly lean forward position, which is very nice. The foot peg location is directly below my butt, with ample room to make adjustments. I did find the left and right foot pegs width a bit odd. It puts my feet a bit wider than the usual feel on a motorcycle. The fuel tank feels really slim once you're on the bike, but wide enough for you to squeeze it comfortably with your knees. Now, for those who are thinking of turning the Interceptor into a scrambler, standing up on the bike feels like riding a vintage enduro with a low, narrow handlebar. Now, the handlebar controls are your basic arrangement, nothing weird going on, and that is a good thing. So how does it perform? In my opinion, the 650cc air and oil-cooled twin has this smooth yet torquey feel to it, especially in the lower RPMs. Acceleration is predictable, but it gives you that mid-range rush that we all want from a motorcycle. Throttle response is crisp, but I found it very mechanical in feel considering that this is a fuel-injected motorcycle. Loads of low-end torque and smooth controls make darting in and out of traffic pretty exhilarating. Oh yes, I tried to do a second gear clutch wheelie to see if it can do so, and I am pleased to announce that it has the capacity to go up on one, which is cool. And with a couple more minutes of practice, I might have brought it up to 10 o'clock if given the opportunity, but no. Now, as for cruising speeds of 80 to 120 kilometers per hour, the Interceptor will do just fine. In short, it has the right amount of power that is entertaining for both new and seasoned riders. Now, speaking of darting in and out of traffic, handling is very neutral, both at low and higher speeds. Having a pretty short wheelbase allows you to get in and out of tight situations easily, but also feel stable when you go faster than cruising. The suspension also does a fine job at absorbing road imperfections and feel planted, especially at city speeds. Now, shifting through the gears is also a pleasant experience in my opinion. The smooth shifting action of the gearbox plus the medium clutch pull is one of my favorites. Changing gears is pretty solid and secure. The brakes, on the other hand, though, are a bit, something else. The rear brake feels strong, probably a bit too strong, while the front feels a bit mushy. But if you combine both, especially at emergency stops, both front and rear complement each other very well. And yes, the ABS does not feel that intrusive through the brake pedal and the lever. Alright. I know I sound like I'm kissing Royal Enfield's ass right now with all the positivity that I just mentioned, but I do have negatives to say, which I will discuss in a moment. But before I do so, I would like to thank Earl and Dexter of Royal Enfield Cebu for inviting me to their test ride event held at Cafe Racer Cebu last week. If you happen to be in the region and looking for a cool bike, look for them and tell them I sent you there. Royal Enfield is distributed by Motor Ace, and they are also the dealer of KTM and Royal Alloy scooters in the Visayas, Philippines. Alright, so negatives. There are 4 things that I found but can be fixed one way or another. Okay. First thing I do not like is the exhaust. Look at these cannons. They're too big and mess up the look of the bike. They do sound great for stock pipes though, but they really have to go. They're too big. Next is the seat. It looks too flat and a bit too high. A bit of a turn off and it feels like you're sitting on a narrow wooden bench. Get something that sits a bit lower with better padding. Third thing that I do not like is, those goofy looking turn signals. If this was my bike, I would take those out and get something that looks a bit more discreet. Something smaller, maybe. And the fourth and probably the worst thing I found about the Interceptor 650 is the fact that I do not have one. So, like this video so this gets more views, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and leave a comment about what you think of the Interceptor. Okay, to sum up my experience on the Interceptor 650 and what are my recommendations. It is a well-built bike that has the classic good looks that everyone really likes. Reasonably priced with decent performance that is entertaining for both seasoned and new riders. Also, it is from the oldest motorcycle brand in the world that is still up to this day true to their heritage. Would I buy one? Absolutely. I like it. In fact, I want one, so that's why you have to like this video. Would I recommend this to anyone? Absolutely. The fact that I like it means it's a really good bike. Try one out. See for yourself. Don't think about those niches or those stereotypes of, you're gonna ride a Royal Enfield and people are gonna tell you that, you're an old person, why are you riding that? No, don't listen to those people. Try the Interceptor 650, see for yourself, and I guarantee you'd be surprised that it is a fun bike, regardless where you come from. If you come from an ADV bike or a scooter or like a modern street bike, try this bike. It is absolutely amazing, I tell you. Anyway, if you are looking for something similar with a bit more of a genuine 60s vibe, check out my video about the Kawasaki W800. That is also an amazing motorcycle, I tell you. Well, anyway, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.